Democrats. Today is Tuesday, October 13th, and it's time for my daily life. So I want to start out with what I always talk about, and that's making a plan. There are 4 ways to vote. You have to make a plan to vote. I am super sad, super jealous. I am the only one of my siblings who hasn't voted yet. Early voting has started in both Colorado and Texas, where my siblings live, and they've all voted and have shared pictures, and I got to get on the ball. My mom's voted. Everybody's voted. So we all got to vote. Make a plan. My plan is absentee ballot, hand deliver. So that's why I haven't voted just yet. So there are 4 ways to vote. The first way, it has a 2-part, right? So you can request your absentee ballot. You can request your absentee ballot, and you can either hand deliver it to your county election board or put it in the mail. You're running out of time to put it in the mail. So if you have your ballot and it's on your desk and it's on your table and you're waiting to talk to somebody about it, cut it out, get it in the mail. So we have hand deliver it, we have mail, and then we have early voting. Early voting in Oklahoma is Thursday, October 29th, Friday, October 30th, September, October 31st. At your county election board. That's where early voting is. In Tulsa County, and I'll come back to this, in Tulsa County, it is at the One Oak baseball field instead of the county election board. And then the 4th way to vote is in person on the day of, on Tuesday, November 3rd, between 7 and 7. And if you have the kind of job where you have to make a plan, be accountable to your hours, please make a plan, please talk to your boss and work that out and get that all settled. So the 4 ways to vote. Please make a plan. If you are unsure of who's going to be on your ballot or what your sample ballot looks like, or if you're thinking about doing an absentee ballot, please go out to iwillvote.com. Iwillvote.com is that will help you, of course, verify your registration. And if you're not registered by now, you will not be able to participate in the November election. So I hope you were listening as I hammered on making sure that you're registered to vote. It allows you to print out a sample ballot. It allows you to verify where your polling place is. So I wanted to talk about absentee ballots. I've spent quite a bit of time today dealing with the fact that there are people who have turned in their ballots and they're unsure about whether or not it will be counted. So I toured, I think I mentioned this on Friday, but I toured the Tulsa County Election Board while they were opening and counting absentee ballots. Really cool process, very detailed. There are a whole bunch of little steps to the process. However, I got to watch on Friday in Tulsa County, they opened about 6,500 ballots of the 61,000 that had been sent out at that point. Found out today that since Friday, they've sent out over 7,000 additional ballots. So good job. You guys are still requesting your absentee ballots. So glad to hear that. But on Friday, they opened 6,500 absentee ballots. And of that 6,500, 1.1%, or somewhere around 60, somewhere in that neighborhood of 60 ballots weren't filled out properly and will not count. So I wanted to take some time and make sure that you guys are paying attention to the instructions in your absentee ballot process. The most common error that caused ballots to not be counted was not signing the affidavit envelope. Sign the affidavit envelope. Sign it. Even if you think that you're going to attach a copy of your ID, even if you're not sure, sign your affidavit envelope. If you're going to attach a copy of an ID, please make sure that that ID will not be expired by November 3rd. So whatever ID you choose, and it has to be a government issue ID. So that's a passport, your driver's license, your state issue ID, military ID, tribal ID, or your voter's registration card. Those are all acceptable forms of ID. Please make sure that whatever ID you use will not have expired by November 3rd. Attach a copy of your ID if that's the way you're going to go, or get it notarized, make sure that your notary stamps it and signs it, because invalid affidavit envelopes were the number one reason that ballots were kicked out here in Tulsa County. So I want to make sure that you guys take the time, go through the steps, because you want your vote to count. And the clock is ticking. We are 3 weeks out, exactly 3 weeks out, 21 days, less than 505 hours. It counts. We are in the home stretch right now. So make sure that the affidavit envelope is super important. Coloring in your dots is great and important. Knowing who you're going to vote for. But make sure you get that the affidavit envelope filled out correctly. So Tulsa County moved their early in-person polling place from the Tulsa County Election Board to the One Oak baseball field at 201 North Denver. Nope, 201 North Elgin. They moved it from Denver to Elgin, 201 North Elgin. Use the entrance that is at the intersection of Elgin and Reconciliation Way. That's that little short street. That's the entrance. Parking will be free around the baseball field. Don't be over there by BOK Center thinking you can park free. Parking by the baseball field will be free. They will not be giving tickets for people who are voting. I haven't seen a lot of information on that, and I wanted to make sure that I share as much information as we possibly can get. Actually, Karen, I'm gonna interrupt here. Karen says she can't vote by mail because she still has a Texas driver's license. That's not true. You can vote by mail and get it notarized. You don't have to put a copy of your ID. You can vote by mail, or you can attach a passport. So you can vote by mail. Try it. So for anybody who's in Tulsa or knows someone in Tulsa who plans on voting in person early, because I know a lot of people are a little bit scared about absentee ballots. A lot of people like the thought of actually going in to vote so you can get your sticker. In Tulsa, Hardesty Library is not going to be a place to vote this time. That's usually the South Side early voting location, not this time. The Tulsa County Election Board, not going to be open this time, not this time. All in-person early voting will be at One Oak Baseball Field, 201 North Elgin. They've chosen this place because it's larger and they can get more people through. And since we're talking about voting in person, stay in line. Stay in line. As you saw in Georgia, people were waiting up to 11 hours to vote. That's some insanity and some voter suppression. As I mentioned, I have family in Texas that voted. My brother and his wife showed up before 7 o'clock, and there was already a line out the building, but their wait wasn't very long. But Texas is engaging in some voter suppression. So whatever you do, stay in line. Stay in line. They want to discourage you from voting. Your vote counts. Your vote matters. And it matters for more than just the presidential election. There's a lot of focus on the presidential election because you almost can't get away from it. And it is important because we only get every 4 years to make this decision. But local elections are equally important, sometimes more so, because they affect your day-to-day. We have a lot of very qualified candidates on our ballot in Oklahoma. They will be on your ballot. You need to get to know who they are because more is on the ballot than just presidential. All right, more is on the ballot. How Medicaid expansion, which we voted for and it got passed, how that gets paid for is on the ballot. Roads, they're on the ballot. Our incarceration rates.
Folks, forgive me for jumping in. There's evidently a technical issue on the chair's end this afternoon. So I just jumped in to say hello and underscore everything that she's been telling you. The vote that you are about to cast has lasting impact. It matters for our communities now in Oklahoma, but some of the issues that we're dealing with, the state questions, for example, and most certainly our local elections, these have the potential of impacting lives for a long time. So please be ready to vote and don't miss this opportunity. It's too late now to register to vote. That ended on Friday. So all we can do is encourage everyone that each of us knows who is registered to vote to vote. We have some exciting news tomorrow. I'm not going to share that with you today. I will wait for the chair to do that. But we have a very, very special guest that we're going to be highlighting, and she will talk to you about that tomorrow. And that's really all. I just wanted to step in and say thank you for being with us today. Thank you, as always, for tuning in to Alicia's 415 Lives here on Facebook every single day. And what an effort that has been. And it's one that I appreciate because it means that everyone who tunes in has the information that's current, that's ready for you every single day. So thank you again. And she will be back with you tomorrow at 4:15. Until then, take good care of yourself, and we will see you soon.